Greetings and felicitations, YouTube. Jarl of the Appian Way, back again. This is pretty much my first real foray back into multiplayer after a really long hiatus of the game. I had heard some good things about Norska, and I decided I was going to try it out, especially when I found out that my opponent, another content creator out there, Halo, was going to be playing Tomb Kings. I wanted to try out Feral Manticores. I've been hearing a lot of good things about them, and I also wanted to try out some mammoths because I heard they've got a slight buff as well. What I wasn't expecting from my opponent Halo here were two Tomb Scorpions, because I did go with 7 Marauders, as you can see here, so that was going to be a problem. But he didn't use them the way I expected, and they had a lot of bang for their buck. Let me just put it like that. So here we go. Let's just go ahead and take a quick look at this. As you see, things are already kicking off. I'm going to put it into slow motion. I went with 6 Marauders. 1 unit of Marauder Great Weapons. I was thinking here that the idea would be I would tie down whatever trash infantry I could with Marauders, and then maybe have an extra one to get through and get into some archers. I was expecting archers. And then the Marauders with Great Weapons, they'd be there to get into like some Nehekar Warriors or Tomb Guard or whatever, if that necessity arose. 2 Mammoths. This is a War Mammoth, and then 2 Feral Manticores. I started with them back just in case he forward deployed something that I didn't want them to get a hold of. You can see they have a lot of weapon strength, mediocre armor, decent leadership, good speed, but no anti-armor, no anti-large, no anti-infantry. I was just thinking I would set them to go hog wild in a particular unit of my choice, and right away when I saw this Skeleton Horseman Archer already up here in my face, I went, well, that looks like a great target for a pair of Feral Manticores. And they actually ended up being way more annoying than I thought they were going to be. Their speed was just, at 76 was enough to stay away from Feral Manticores at 85. I also took two regiments of renown. I took the Mist Stalkers, and I took, all the way out here, the Armored Skin Wolf Maws of Savagery. I originally intended to play with them together, and I decided that was going to be too much of a gamble, so I actually split them apart, and I wish I hadn't. I wish I had kept them together anyway. So here's his second Skeleton Horseman Archer, and let's look at his actual army. Plenty of trash infantry as I expected. So 4 units of Skeleton Spearmen, 1 Nehekar Warrior, 3 Nehekar Warriors, 2 Tomb Guards with Halberds. So he actually has a larger infantry contingent than I do. And then even more anti-infantry here in the Tomb Scorpions. 2 of them, both anti-armor, both anti-infantry. And that bonus, let's take a look at that. That's a 270 armor-piercing damage. So that's gnarly for anything I have that has any armor whatsoever, large or small. And then, of course, he has Settra the Imperishable on a take you never really see much on the steed, not on a chariot or on a giant war kitten. And here, last but not least, the Bone Giant, which was well, you'll see how it performs. He was actually upset that he took this. He didn't like its overall impact in this battle. He'd wish he had just taken some Ushabti instead. So let's go ahead and hit play. Let's show you how this works out for him. He's dumping shots into my infantry, and he's running away from my Manticores BC. This is where the engagement's really going to begin. Just a pretty long skirmishing phase. I'm already moving up my army. I'm diving in here. Look at that huge hit that he just took in leadership, just right off the bat. Pretty painful, actually. And about a fifth of the health gone as well. So he's going to continue to run, and I'm trying to put my Mist Stalkers somewhere where they'll be more helpful, but at this stage they've been discovered. I'm like, okay, well, let's see if they can't eat some Skeleton Horseman Archers. Meanwhile, as you can see by the minimap, still just a little bit more maneuvering going on as my guys seem to place. The Mist Stalkers are not going to be able to catch the Skeleton Horseman Archers until Halo gives them an order to turn in the other direction. And yeah, you can see how this is going to go. It's just even more health lost, even more units lost. down to about a third of their health gone, but they are going to escape this as well. Meanwhile, these guys are coming into the backfield. They're going to try and dump some arrows into my infantry and possibly as well into some mammoths. But the engagement is made. I didn't take any magic wielders because I sat there and I said, you know what? Best magic I can take as Norska is Lore of Boats. But unfortunately here, I did have a good opportunity for a boat right here, but I didn't seize upon it. I was looking at it I was looking at this battle more from this angle, and it just seemed like I couldn't find a decent way to line it up, especially since my Marauders are eating skeleton spearmen for lunch. It was really working out well for me, so I did have a boat over here. It did not do much damage. You can see my micros actually really falling behind. I absolutely should have lined up a better boat attack, especially through these two Nehekar warriors. And that's when I also noticed, oh, we got Tomb Guard. Well, that's going to be a problem. So the Maws of Savagery I thought was going to get a quick hit and run alpha strike on Settra. Didn't quite work out. The Tomb Guard came in, and I said, you know what, I ain't taking that fight. This unit of Skeleton Horseman Archers has been caught by the Miststalkers again. You know who's going to win that one. And the Tomb Scorpions just start going to town on infantry, which is where they should be, all things being equal. I did get Wulfric in here. I activated the Sword of Torvald, and I debuffed Settra with what is it? Oh, the Blade of something. Hunter of Champions, that's what it was. And this is quickly turning in my favor, especially since I have the War Mammoth out here. That War Mammoth, I was actually trying to order that War Mammoth to get into the back end of this blob right over here. But you know what? I'll just have two Mammoths push Settra around. That works out for me just fine. I tried landing my Feral Manticores on the Bone Giant, shut it up for a little bit, but the Tomb Guard is already right there, so I'm going, I'm going to have to get out of that sooner rather than later. See, his infantry and Tomb Scorpion combination is more than enough to chase off these Marauders. He has another full unit of Skeleton Horseman Archers back here, hoping to peg some shots in. And here comes some healing for the Tomb Kings. At this stage, I'm going, wow, I am really out of practice. This isn't going so well for me. What even is this? What's coming down over here? Oh, that's the Summoned Ushabti, trying to really turn the tide against these Marauders. I think he's really trying to wipe my infantry off the board. You can see, you know, he's focusing a lot of fire. He's got his Tomb Scorpions on this. I get a Lure of Boats right across this Tomb Guard. I was hoping to get some more Skeleton Spearmen, but you can see my guys were already running away, unfortunately, so I wasn't able to hold that line too terribly long. Settra comes in here, gets a quick charge in on this Feral Manticore, and that Manticore is going to be down for the count very, very quickly. Wulfric's over here eating a bunch of arrows, and these Tomb Scorpions are still in excellent condition. The Summoned Ushabti is losing to the Miststalkers. I'm sorry, the Maws of Savagery. The Miststalkers are beating up on this Tomb Scorpion, which is great news for me, because that's actually really where I need them to be. And that's what I thought anyway, but the Tomb Scorpion is going to hold its own in this fight really, really well. So I eventually decide, okay, I'm going to get the Miststalkers out of here and see if I can't chase off these Skeleton Archers so I can protect Wulfric a little bit longer. And then the Tomb Scorpion says, okay, well, in that case, I'll just take on Wulfric. I was really surprised at the versatility of the Tomb Scorpion. That really caught me off guard. Even over here, my Maws of Savagery, because I can't ever get away from... I can't get a good shot at the Bone Giant without Tomb Guard just being in the way. And I don't really have a good answer for Tomb Guard except for Mammoths. But every time I would get a hold of one, there's reinforcements in position. There's a Tomb Scorpion nearby. There's a Bone Giant. And I really want to single out these targets. So I'm trying to get in my regrouped infantry into position where they can support. Settra gets away with his speed of 76 on this mount and is managing to dodge attempt after attempt after attempt on his life, which isn't going well for me. Finally get this Tomb Scorpion down to about half health, and I get a really good boat right here. I felt like that should have dealt a lot more damage. Right where it just went right across his line of 2 Tomb Guard. That was the best possible targeting I could have had on it, and it wasn't enough. I'm kind of upset about that. I think I have to look into it to see if Wulfric got nerfed. So you can see Wulfric got routed briefly. He does come back, but he's the sole target of the Bone Giant, and I don't have anything to stop the Bone Giant. And he's also the target of these Skeleton Horseman Archers, but I have the Feral Manticore back. I have both Feral Manticores back, actually, so they're going to go ahead and try and take these guys out. I wish I could have had better target acquisition with my Feral Manticores, but there wasn't really anything good for them to take on. This is the beginning of the end for me by all counts and purposes. You see the balance of power really in my favor, and that's hard for me to suss out. I was having trouble figuring that out. I'm determined to send both of these Manticores to chase off the Skeleton Horseman Archers, and I have Wulfric here, and I have to get him onto Settra. I need to target Settra. I need to Sword of Torvald, and I need to Hunter of Champions on him. Unfortunately, I thought Settra was coming for me, so I triggered Sword of Torvald, and then Settra turns around and decides, no, I'm just going to chase off this War Mammoth, and it was a wasted sword, which was a very, very bad thing for me. So the Bone Giant just spent its last ammo, and I wish I had paid attention to that when it had happened, because I don't need to send in my Marauders here to try and silence it. I really don't. I could have just ignored it at that point and just treated it like a giant that would disintegrate once Settra is gone. Only one Tomb Scorpion left at this stage, and I'm trying to just weigh it down with the Maws of Savagery and the Miststalkers. Those are my best killing options right now, and I need them to take out these large units. Like, oh, what a charge! Right away, that Tomb Scorpion is in dire straits from that rear charge. And then I'm keeping my infantry in these engagements because I want them to soak up damage. This is going to be the end for Wulfric. The Incantation of Desiccation here is going to be more than enough to take him out, and he falls in combat. Now, it's at that stage, I'm still going, well, you know what? I still have Maws of Savagery. I still have the Miststalkers. I don't care about this Incantation of Desiccation. They are more than enough to kill Settra and a Bone Giant, right? And a Tomb Scorpion, right? Especially one that's as hurt as badly as this. I'm thinking, oh, okay, maybe I can single him out, piecemeal, take out individual units, try and get my infantry out of there. Actually, at this stage, I'm thinking maybe just regroup them, keep them out in the distance. And I'm trying to figure out what pieces I have together. Halo's going, this has been a great battle, but balance of power is stacked against him. He's actually convinced that this is over for him because of the Miststalkers and the Maws of Savagery, and the Maws of Savagery get routed. I was shocked at that. There goes another, that Feral Manticore is done. It wants nothing to do with this anymore. Settra's out here, but I get some really good hits on him. That right there was a disintegrating cavalry unit, and I'm going, I've got this. I got this in the bag. Halo's saying, GG. This is a done deal, and I'm going, okay. So I just go ahead and I get my guys in a position. I'm going to take out the Bone Giant whenever Settra won't let me fight Settra, and then, okay, well, Settra's here. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and chase him. All right, here he is. Let's fight. And he manages to dodge all of those hits. I got my infantry back here. I'm just going to tear these guys apart. It's going to be great. You know, no anti-large. Okay, so there is anti-large on Settra, but there isn't on the Bone Giant. Oh, there is. No, that's for their missile damage, not for their melee damage. I get really kind of fed up with Settra just running around roughshod, so I try to slow him down with my infantry and get my Maws of Savagery into him because they have the speed bonus. I'm going to, chase a little bit with the Miststalkers as well. Settra just dodges more strikes against him and squeaks on by again. We're already on voice chat. We're talking about, the Bone Giant's lack of performance with only 7 kills. We're talking about how Ushabti would have been a little better, but I was actually anticipating Ushabti. And and then this fight finally gets down to the wire. I got my infantry back over here, just holding them off in reserve, because I don't want my infantry in the fight with the Bone Giant. And look at this. The Maws of Savagery got terror routed. And then I'm going, okay, well, I have to get my infantry in here now. This is a problem, because I need to try and protect the health on my Miststalkers. The Maws of Savagery regroup. I'm going to get them back into this, but now the Miststalkers are about to rout. They're about to die, no less. Balance of power quickly turning against me, and as I cannot get the finishing blow on Settra. And look at that, just done. Everybody felt I was robbed in this fight. It did not seem like this is how it should have played out in the end, but there it was. There you have it. What could I have done better? I should have brought a spellcaster of some kind. It was those spells from Settra in the end, the special abilities of him, and some canny use of cycle charging that won the battle for him. And clearly don't underestimate the capacity of armor-piercing constructs to do damage to large targets, even if they don't have anti-large. Those Tomb Scorpions, you saw it. They had 270, I believe, armor-piercing damage. And that was more than enough to just really put the hurt on to targets like Wulfric or the War Mammoth, who performed very well, as did the Miststalkers, as did the Maws of Savagery. And you can see I got a lot of, chaff kills with my Marauders and such. And that the Marauders with great weapons did start with that 1 XP chevron. But the Bone Giant and Settra the Imperishable were enough to pull it off in the end. The Nehakar Warriors, 105 kills against my own chaff, of course. But it was a combination of anti-armor in lieu of anti-large, as well as the terror from the Bone Giant and Settra's abilities that won this battle. And this is a very big infantry lineup that I wasn't really expecting with Tomb Keems, and I also wasn't expecting Skeleton Horseman Archers. I also wasn't expecting Tomb Scorpions. There wasn't anything in this playlist that I was really expecting other than Skeleton Spearmen. So really good pick on his part. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope to have more for you very, very soon in the near future. So have a good evening, and I'll see you next time.